In a business dominated by stars who've been working their magic for years on end, every now and then a few promising young actors will inevitably stand out from among the hordes of hopefuls struggling to make an impression. Sushant Singh Rajpoot from Kai Poche, Aditya Roy Kapoor from Ashiki 2, and Varun, Dhawan and Alia Bhatt from last year's Student of the Year have major film projects in the pipeline, with the likes of Rajkumar Hirani, Imtiaz Ali, Karan Johar's Dharma Productions and Yashraj Films. They have endorsement deals with top brands and have amassed a following of loyal fans already. The four young actors, being hailed as Bollywood's next big things, sat down to talk about their dreams and ambitions, about competition and failure on the Breakout Stars Roundtable. Each of you broke out in a film that was riding on your shoulders. You were the stars of these films. And by virtue of that, there were crores of rupees that were invested in each of you. All of you are in your 20s. I have to ask, were you ever nervous before these films came out that we're so young and yet we're responsible for so much?
Well, I think nervousness comes with every film, not only the first film. Second, first film obviously is a big deal, and you're a newcomer, you don't know if the people are going to come watch you, you don't know how well the film's going to do. Things like that were happening, but I think once the weekend passes, then you know how it's going, then I think that's when we actually calm down. I actually calmed down.
I actually knew the film was going to work.
Okay.
Though I think once we had completed the film, very honestly, I knew the film will do well.
Okay.
Because I think how sure Karan was what he wanted to do with it. It was not like he was like, oh, this audience should also like it. He knew this is his audience. He knew this is what I want to do. So I think somewhere down the line, I was pretty sure it will work with that demographic for sure.
Okay.
I was not nervous. I was very excited because, after I read the script, I was so confident. I was like, yeah, this is the script I want to be a part of. And I was excited to, fit into that script and to work in, building my character. So, not nervous because I don't understand the commerce that well.
Sure.
And I don't make my decision on the basis of that. But I was very excited.
Okay. For you, Aditya, Ashiki may not have been your first film, but it was your first starring role.
Yeah, it was different. It's a different thing because you get on set to the first day and you feel like shit, they're all here for me.
Right.
I have to do this. So that sense of responsibility is there.
Right.
But you can't let it get to you. Yeah. You just do your best and yeah.
Sure. I'm sure that each of you was offered other films as well, of which you chose the ones that you did. How do you know that this is the one that I'm going to get the best opportunity to show what I've got?
I don't know if you can be that calculative about what's going to work and not. I think it's more about, in my case, I've always gone with my gut instinct of the person's vision and what I think he is interpreting it as. That's why I always like to listen to a narration of how the director is looking at it rather than make my own little world of what it is, because that really doesn't translate then.
I think similarly, obviously Karan Johar is enough for any actor to get sold that you'll do the film. He had actually narrated the story to me when I was an AD of his, but starring other actors, obviously.
Okay.
And at that time I was like, oh shit, yeah, I wish I could do a film like that. It would be so cool if I got a film like that. I would be doing this, doing that. So I think the story sold me even more for it.
For me, I don't know, the thing is that actually all the films that I am doing right now and Student of the Year, it's been literally it's not like a big decision to make. Student of the Year, Karan Johar film, no decision to make.
Right.
Imtiaz Ali Highway, no decision to make. Two States, the book only I was so interested in. I loved the book before I even knew it could be made into a film. So for me at least, I've not reached that point where, whether should I do this role? Is it going to be good for me? Is it going to be, whatever script has come across, I've said yes to. And there's, it's like I'm doing everything that I've been offered or that has come my way.
Okay. Who were your inspirations growing up? Was there one actor that made you want to be an actor?
In my case, I think it was Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone. I grew up on that.
All these action
stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I got when I got into my 11th and 12th, I got into the taxi drivers of the world and into your Scarface and the whole bunch.
So clearly Hollywood was the influence.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
For me, it was Shah Rukh in DDLJ. I wanted to be like Raj, as he said, like Pacino in Scarface, Serpico, Scent of a Woman. Meryl in Sophie's Choice. That was the beginning.
Okay.
For me, initially, it was the whole Karishma Kapoor and Govinda dancing here, dancing there. I want to do that. I want to dance in the garden. I want to dance on the road and change my clothes simultaneously and have
Such
have
a pity
no
times have changed.
Yeah, and have no one looking at me and saying, pointing out, why is she standing in the middle of the road and dancing? No problem. That was the initial want for me to want to be in that world. But then eventually, obviously, I realized it's much more. So growing up, I would love watching Shah Rukh Khan, Kajol, then Kareena Kapoor. And after that, I was like, oh God, this is something that I need to do, I have to do, and I'm meant to do.
Okay. Varun?
Obviously, I've grown up watching Govinda, watching Salman, watching these guys, and the iconic lines I remember anyway, like any fanboy. But at the same time, I can't. It might sound stupid, and I've been told not to say this, but my childhood has been very heavily influenced by wrestling.
WWF.
Yeah, all these guys. So I would like come home and watch Monday Night Raw on Mondays at 9 o'clock religiously. And this guy Dwayne Johnson, who's an actor now,
of course,
The Rock. I think like he gave me the confidence to chase my dreams and to do what I want to do.
You know, all four of you, none of you really came in from the cold in a sense. Sushant, you worked in television before you joined films. Your brother has been a successful producer, so you've known the industry, I'm guessing. You also had worked in films and in television briefly. The two of you come from a film family. And yet, what was the one thing that caught you completely by surprise when you became famous?
I actually was not as involved in the film world just because I was a part of the film family. So actually everything was confusing for me, at least on the first day of shoot. I didn't know how films are made. I used to only go on my dad's sets to eat the set ka khana. I used to never really go to see how films were made. I think the whole thing of just being a part of the set and shooting, but the whole experience was like magnificent and really larger than life for me.
Okay.
I think everyone treats you slightly differently.
Right.
Your close friends, your family, everyone. It's under the garb of this having happened in your life.
Right.
So there's a slight change in everything. There are more compromises made for you. And then I sometimes find myself trying to overcompensate and make myself, I'm just like all of you, but it's silly to fight it. So
One thing that has changed and is a positive change, I guess, you have more number of right kind of scripts to choose from. And that's, I think, is a very welcoming change.
Okay. You know, I don't want to be the party pooper here, but I have to bring up, there are enough examples of careers that don't take off, of one-hit wonders, of people who make a great first impression and then those careers don't go anywhere. Have you ever thought of, what if this doesn't work out?
All the time. In fact, the thing is that like for the past 3 months I've been really shooting. Whenever I have the time off and I'm driving to a particular place, I get very jealous. I'm a very jealous person.
Okay.
Because I think it's very important to be jealous because it makes yourself realize, okay, you're not doing good enough, you're not working hard enough. Look at where they are, look at where you are. So things like that really irritate me because sometimes I feel like, what if I just have 2-3 years more in this industry? What if I just have 2 more films? What if I don't become the person I want to become? And I think that's very scary because when you only want to do this, I have no qualification.
I was going to ask, do you guys have other skills to fall back on?
Major in sociology, Bachelor of Arts.
Okay.
I hold a degree in business administrator.
Aren't you a chemical engineer or something?
I'm a dropout.
Same, yes, I'm a dropout as well.
Does failure cross your mind?
I was very shy as a child, and when I started doing theatre, I realized that I can get behind all these kind of amazing characters and escape from my fearful shyness. So I mean, like, if next year if I don't get films, I've done theatre, I've done TV, I might do my own short film and act in it. It's that joy in which you persuade people to believe that you are someone you're not.
Right.
So that is the thing for me. I don't understand actors who just work for a lot of money or maybe getting famous. And that is the thing which I want. So I can do it in theatre, I can do it on TV, I can do it in my own short film. So
Varun, Aditya?
You can't be scared to fail, I think. You can't be scared to
But
fail.
everyone's scared to fail.
No, but then you'll never take a risk, I feel.
No, but
I mean, in the sense, like, if you want, like today, suppose if I get offered to play a girl, suppose, I'm just saying, like a crazy role I get offered. Like, you have to play a girl, you have to go through this metamorphosis, and you have to play this kind of character. Now, I'll feel, oh, box office pe nahi chal raha. But I will not take that risk if I feel it will fail as an actor. Like what Sushant said, it'll constantly hold you back from growing as an actor or a performer.
Right.
So I think one has to kind of
I think it does the
Put that
opposite.
on the
in fact.
side.
I'm not talking about like in a negative way, but competition is very important for you to want to do better and want to work harder.
As an actor, obviously, you might feel competitive or all that, which I was very before Student of the Year started, but I think now I've become less because I've had a long break, so I've understood more stuff.
Varun, I feel as a star you can be competitive, you can
Yeah.
like, but
But
as an actor you can't compare
Yeah.
two actors and
Yeah.
you're performing different characters, so you just can't compare them.
Yeah.
It's just a battle
Yeah.
between yourself and the character you want to play.
Right.
And you know, in fact, as a star also, I feel, I mean, obviously we hear these things of ego battles
That's
and
right.
battles between actors on the box office, but I don't think it's as much as the media makes it
Okay.
out to be. And I know, there's a reason to this, because before my film released, I went and met Salman Khan, and he told me, this is what he told me. He said he spoke to me about Siddharth, and he was like, you know, he's not from the film line. So I said, yeah, he's not, and all, Salman bhai. So he's like, you know, you should be even more nicer to him. Be as nice as you can to him, because you still have some family backing and you still have someone. That poor guy doesn't have anyone. He's come from there. He doesn't know anything about this industry. Not that
Right.
otherwise he's a poor guy. So be more helpful about the things you know to him.
But why is ambition and competition a bad word?
It's not. That's
No,
exactly
it's
what I'm
not.
saying. It's not about actually.
As
that's-
if it works well for you, if it's coming in the way of yourself and it,
Right.
it hinders you,
Yeah,
that's a bad
that's
thing.
another.
It depends
Sure.
how you take it. No
It
one's
depends how
saying-
you take it.
You know, the stakes are so high, and there are only so many A-list projects going around. Do you keep a track on what your contemporaries are doing, what your colleagues are doing?
I would like to, but then
I am aware. I'm aware.
I am aware because I know her. So she called me up and
tells you
"You know, this one's doing that. You know, that one's doing that. What are you doing? I don't.
I don't do that.
No, but I'll tell you honestly, I have, I think like me and we've chilled like a couple of times before. So I'm sure like if he's doing something which is great, or if he like if I need advice on something probably that he's done something, I'll call him up and ask him, or he'll call me up and ask me, should I do this or should I do that? Is that shady or whatever?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, you know, this generation is much more friendlier. This generation, I mean, you know, you guys hang out together. Is it hard being friends, being cordial, being warm to a person who's got perhaps a part that you really wanted?
Unless he like took bad pictures of me and showed it to the director and like, you know, see, you know, then I would not like him, but otherwise it's not his fault. Yeah, he wakes up late and all, you know, if he does all that, then yeah, but then I wouldn't like the guy, but otherwise like, what's his fault? Yeah,
Right.
it's not any good for him, you know.
You know, the recent Jia Khan tragedy, the recent suicide, it's sort of lifted the lid on some harsh realities. That it can be a lonely world out there. Both personally and professionally, it's a high stress situation. It's sometimes hard to be able to communicate what you're feeling. Do you see that harsh side? And how do you make sure that you don't, in a sense, succumb to that kind of perhaps pressure or loneliness?
By nature, it's a profession which can play games with your mind and trouble you more than normal. But if you know, if you have other interests, and I think it's a very simple thing, but if you have other likes and another life which you know you can go to and
Yeah.
find solace in, then I think you keep a perspective on this is work.
And I think depression is very common. It happens with everybody. It's just highlighted because this is a film industry that's in the limelight, so people know what you're feeling.
Right.
I think the biggest problem is when you start feeling that the film industry is the world,
Right.
because it's not. The world is bigger than the film industry. The film industry is a part of the world.
Right.
Like how an actor is a part of a film is not the film. Same way the film industry is part of the world. You need to understand and not allow that madness to take over, because
It's difficult. It's very difficult.
it is a mad place.
Everyone knows you're not doing well at your job when you're down, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like when a doctor's not doing all of this, not like his friend circle, no. But the world
Yeah.
Right.
knows that you're doing badly at your job.
Yeah.
It's tough, you know?
Yeah.
It is,
Sure, it
it
could
is
be.
very hard.
And there was this line in the film Swimming with the Sharks in which she says that you should know exactly the reason why you are in the industry. and you should have that Teflon coating and should just work on it, concentrate on it. So you're not affected by anything else. You can be working for just for the love of the art, or you can be working for, say, money or being famous. But you should know exactly why you're working
and work towards that. What do you personally carries more weight, box office success or critical appreciation?
I think critical appreciation, because as I said, I don't understand the commerce that well. If it's an informed evaluation, yes, why not? Because you're so engrossed in building the character, you're so engrossed in portraying it for so many months. You try to be truthful to yourself, to your co-actors, to your text, that by the end of it you tend to lose objectivity. So then if you have another perspective to it, and if it's a good feedback, you get encouraged. If they have pointed out some fundamental mistakes in your skills, then you can work on it and you learn and you grow. So why not?
If I have chosen to do a certain kind of film which panders to a certain kind of this thing, then I would be looking at those people that I am pandering to like it. And if they like it, they've critically evaluated that the kind of film I'm doing, I've done well.
Yeah.
But if people are criticizing it on the basis of I don't like this kind of cinema and film, then they're not looking at it as the people that I want to do it for.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it depends.
Eventually, if you're doing a film, if it doesn't do well, then what's the use? I mean, it doesn't do well in the sense people don't like it.
But then if you're doing a
But
film,
would you not do a film that, on paper looks like the kind of film that is going to be a risky proposition? It's the kind of film that may or may not reach out, but it's a damn good opportunity. I mean, it's something that I think I could do.
I would still do it.
I would still do it. Highway
it.
was that film for me. It was a big risk for me to take. It's for my second film, because the kind of investment that I had to give, I didn't feel I was qualified enough as an actor. I didn't feel I had enough experience to go through that journey. But I did it. Also because it was Imtiaz, but I just did it. I'm like, you have a feeling, like he said, you have a gut feeling.
Yeah.
You just go for it.
But see, for me, like if I'm getting into a film, I can't get into a film thinking that this film will flop. Flop meaning people won't like it. I would feel, okay, this film is risky, but as an actor or in the director, I have so much belief that after doing it, people will like this film. I mean, I get in with that thing that, chalo, I'm going to make people like this film. No matter what, this character is so brilliant that I'm ready to give my all, and hopefully people will see that.
Finally, I have to ask you, what's the one film that you saw in the last maybe year, 2 years, Hindi film, that made you go, I wish I was in this?
Mansingh for me.
Mansingh Tomar?
Yeah, not because I think that I could have done it better, but I could have my own interpretation to it, and I would like to see how it feels to be like a Mansingh Tomar. So because of that.
Okay. You want to go Varun first?
Yeah, I think Gangs of Wasseypur. I just felt that the way it was treated, the sound design of that film especially, everything, I think he was daring enough to make that type of film, and I just loved the whole world. So I would love to be, I wouldn't know what exact part that I would want to play, but I just loved the characters. I thought if I got an opportunity to play even one of them, I would be very excited to be part of this film.
Okay.
I think Barfi.
Priyanka's part, I'm guessing.
Can you do
No,
an
anyone's
imitation?
part. Like, Barfi was like a film, yeah. Like after a very long time, I got to see that full film.
Right.
Delhi Belly I would like to be.
Sure.
Nice one.
Or I saw Ship of Theseus the other day. I loved it,
Yeah.
I really loved it. I would love to be in that film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all the best. Looking forward to seeing lots more. The four of you are really just sort of taking baby steps into the business. Here's hoping that you continue to entertain us. Here's hoping that you achieve the goals that you've set out for yourself. And here's hoping that we see a lot more of you in the future. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for having us, Rajeev.
Thank you.